What up, fellas? It's Ty. Welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things prostate and prostate cancer related. If you're new here, welcome to you. If you've been here for a while, watched the video, maybe even liked and subscribed, I appreciate you. I really do. And welcome back. So today I want to talk to you about choosing to live post-prostate cancer. Now, if you've been in the channel, you're like, oh, here we go, Ty. But I want to talk to you about this because I talked to somebody recently and they were asking me this question. They were recently diagnosed and they asked me how I got through it. And why do I look like I'm just okay? And I'm like, one, I'm not in the early stages, but two, I have a different mindset. And so I decided I wanted to share this with you all, at risk of some of you thinking that I'm being sappy, but I wanted to share this with you all because we're all in different parts of our journey. When I was first diagnosed, I say this all the time, but I was angry. I was angry. My first thought was to go find somebody to be angry at. And then my other thought was, it's really just a coping mechanism. I'm trying to hide because in some places I felt less than. I just felt like somebody had taken something from me. I say that all the time, but I felt like somebody had taken something from me. I felt less than, and the only thing I understood was anger. But it wasn't getting me anywhere. The outcomes didn't change because I was going through this anger thing. So I decided to look at it a little differently. And so here's what I did. The first thing I decided to do was celebrate my wins. That was the first thing. The first win on whatever the scope was, whatever the thing was, it was like, hey, I got the catheter out. Hey, this is my first day without having to use a pad. And so on and so forth. I made sure that every little win was me moving towards the goalpost. And I decided that because I knew that all of those big things that were going on as I continued to recover, I wasn't getting to those and wasn't going to get to those fast enough. So I had to figure out a way to get my mind to be like, okay, so we did make a step. A lot of times we rush to whatever the next step is in our recovery. You'll feel some tingling down in your penis and you'll decide immediately that you want hard erections and that you want everything to go back to normal. But what about the people who have never felt anything at all after whatever their treatment has been? So you are blessed. And that's what I thought. And that's how I feel like I had built on allowing those things to move forward. As a man thinketh, so shall he be. So I decided to think that I'm going to get better. But not just with some doubt. No, I just decided that I knew I was going to get better. And I started moving that way. I started getting up and exercising. And again, I recognize that everyone is not going to get good news. Everybody's not going to be able to do that. But you are in charge of how you see yourself. From whatever the point is that they told you, going forward to however long that should be. And so, you decide how you want to live that and move forward after this diagnosis. I decided I wanted to get up and move, and a number of you are. In the comments, I'm always so excited when individuals say that they were highly active individuals and now they're back to their activities. That's amazing to me. And for me, I did the exact same thing. I wasn't the same person, though. Wasn't as strong. I wasn't as mentally focused. I wasn't able to do some of the things that I was able to do, but I was able to do them. I did celebrate that win. So I'll say that to you. When is the last time that you celebrated a win? When is the last time, regardless of how anybody else sees it, when's the last time that you moved from one step to the next in this prostate cancer journey and you just allowed yourself to really be excited about that? I don't know. I used to do it all the time. Remember to laugh. Remember to find enjoyment. It's not always things to laugh at. There's always reasons to be serious. There's always the next thing that's coming. But again, there are plenty of times to worry There are plenty of times where you're going to have to think about those things. But there's also time to laugh. There's also time to enjoy that you're still here and that you are still in the fight. That's what I did. You know, when you are going through this, one of the things that I did was reconnect with some people. Now, the level of reconnection is different, but during your prostate cancer journey, you may or may not have found some people that didn't necessarily show up for you the way that you thought they should. And if you're anything like me, begrudgingly, you're like, I always showed up for you. You didn't even show up for me. So, whether outwardly or in your mind, you're kind of cutting them off. Reconnect with those people. Now, it may be different, but again, move yourself from your new normal and include as much as your old normal as you can. Now, I'm not saying go backwards and start thinking about how much and how well you used to be. I'm talking about something a little different here. I'm talking about just making sure that wherever those comfort places are, that you are making sure that you are not putting yourself in isolation to a place where it's just you, your recovery, and whatever it ends up being. That's just a suggestion for me. But again, this is my story, and I'm telling you guys how I traversed my prostate cancer journey, and it wasn't always easy. And it's not always easy. It's not easy to find a win. It's not easy to find a win or trying to go to the doctor's office and, like you go and you get your PSA checked and that anxiety, and then you come out and my doctor gives me a piece of paper and I look at it and he tells me that's below 0. I'm like, yeah, below 1. And it's like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, all those zeros. I'm like, yes, that's awesome. I throw it in the doggone side of the seat and but at first just drive to work or wherever it is that I was going. But, I took a deep breath. I looked at the paper and took a deep breath because I was undetectable. As I always say, I'm prostate cancer free. A number of people tell me that undetectable and prostate cancer free aren't the same thing, but hey, that's what I thought. So choose to live. Choose to live. Do not be defined by your prostate cancer. Do not be defined by your difficulties during this prostate cancer or the outcomes that come with it. Try to find a way. And it's not immediate because maybe you don't think like me, but you keep coming back to this video as much as possible and get as much as you can until you are strong enough to stand up and say, that's a win. That's something I'm excited about. That's something I didn't think was ever going to happen. That is something that's remarkable. And look at how life is moving in my favor. Find those things, gentlemen. Because there's so many things in this prostate cancer journey that don't always work for us. So, bend don't break. Keep moving forward. Hang in there. Hope this message finds you all well. Peace and blessings, fellas.